Right, so hello and welcome back to Books and Things, and welcome to another video, and welcome back to my Palliser week. Today I'm going to be talking about the first book in the Palliser series, and that is Can You Forgive Her? Chapter 1. Mr. Vavasor and his daughter. Whether or no she, whom you are to forgive if you can, did or did not belong to the upper 10,000 of this our English world, I am not prepared to say with any strength of affirmation. By blood she was connected with big people, distantly connected with some very big people indeed, people who belonged to the upper 10,000, if indeed there be any such division. But of these very big relations she had known and seen little, and they had cared as little for her. Can You Forgive Her is one of my favourite books in the series. I love it a lot, and I think it's a really, really fantastic novel. This is going to be a spoiler-free review of Can You Forgive Her, as all of my Author Week videos tend to be. Can You Forgive Her follows a woman called Alice Vavasor. Now, at the beginning of the book, she is engaged to be married to a man called Mr. Grey, who she likes, but she doesn't really think they're very well suited. She likes being in the city, she likes spending money and having fun, she likes adventure and action, and he likes peace and quiet and the countryside. He feels that perhaps they're not very well suited, and perhaps that she's not very worthy of him, so she's having second thoughts about her engagement, and also at the same time she's becoming a little bit closer to her cousin George. Alice has been good friends with her cousin George and her cousin Kate, and at one point previously was engaged to George, but that all was broken off for various circumstances that don't become clear until later. And so Alice begins to rethink her marriage plans, and everything kind of goes on from there. And the idea of the novel, the kind of title Can You Forgive Her, is can you forgive Alice? Can you forgive the things that she does in this book and the way that she treats people? Because Alice, while I am very fond of her as a character and do think she means well, she doesn't always do the right thing. There is a lot that I love about Can You Forgive Her. Like I said, it's one of my favourite books in this series. I think Alice Vavasor is such a brilliant character, really well done, and she's very good for being a character who is not entirely likeable, who is not entirely good, who has her flaws, but also who you do really root for and you do really come to understand over the course of the book so well. I think the way we kind of learn more about her as the book goes on is really well done. I also really like her cousin Kate, and I think like her arc over the course of the book is really interesting too, and she's quite like stubborn in many ways, and that's something I enjoy. Another character I really like is Kate's aunt, Mrs. Greenow, who at the beginning of the book has been recently widowed and suddenly has an awful lot of money that she never had before, so there are a lot of men sniffing around her, and that subplot is something I really enjoy as well. Now, another thing that I love about Can You Forgive Her is the relationship between Glencora and Mr. Palliser, who is a character who turns up in a lot of books in this series, hence why the books are often called the Palliser novels. I love Mr. Palliser. He's one of my favourite characters in all of literature. One of the things I love about the series so much is how you get to know him slowly over the course of all of these books, and I also love Glencora. And I think the relationship between Mr. Palliser and Glencora, their marriage is explored so brilliantly. Anthony Trollope is at his best when writing about marriages that are a little bit dysfunctional. And one of the things I love about the Pallisers is that the marriage is a little bit dysfunctional, but there is hope. And the way that's explored in this book, in Can You Forgive Her, is just amazing. And in a way, although the question you're being asked as a reader is can you forgive Alice, I think there is also a sense of can you forgive Glencora as well. And Glencora is such a fantastic character, so like wacky in many ways and wonderful, that too is done fantastically, and the way marriage is explored in this book is just amazing. I also think in this book, like many others, Trollope's characterisation is fantastic and so strong. And one of the things he's very, very good at is making you quite a bit unsure about whether or not you should trust a particular character, and slowly over the course of the book realising that you should or shouldn't. And the way he does that with various characters in this book I think is really, really well done, and something that is really smart and really clever. Can You Forgive Her is also a real page turner. Like, this is one of the books in the series I read the fastest, and like in the second half the drama like really just keeps on like going up and up a level, and the more you read the more you're like, oh wow, I didn't expect this to happen. Like, there's so much excitement going on in Can You Forgive Her, and it gets really, really dramatic in a really wonderful way. I really, really love the drama and the plot of Can You Forgive Her. I think it's really, really well paced and really engaging, and such a fantastic book. So yeah, I don't think I have too much more to say about Can You Forgive Her. I have nothing negative to say about it because it is one of my favourite books in the series, and I think it's brilliantly, brilliantly done. Definitely a book I would recommend. Really, really fantastically exploring marriage and the position of women in society and money and all of those things that are done so well in Trollope. It's a brilliant book and one I would highly recommend. And that is all for today. Please let me know down in the comments if you have read Can You Forgive Her and what you thought of it, and I'll be back very soon with another bookish video.